Good morning, my lawn and garden friends. Welcome back to a beautiful day here in Brisbane. I think we're looking at about 30 or 31 degrees. And to some of you viewers, you might be watching that cringing, going, that is far too hot. But for me, I love the heat. So I'm way more of a heat person than the cold person. And plus, with the heat and whatnot, that's generally when things are growing, when business is booming, which it currently is here in Brisbane. So with all the rain we've had come through and that. But anyway, yes, so we are off to a client's place today that I did a video on previously, and that was the turf job we did here. And so we're heading back there now to do the renovation part of the lawn. If you've seen that video, you would have seen half the lawn was fine and didn't need returfing, but it just needed a pick-me-up, a renovation. So we're heading back there today to do that. If you haven't caught that returf video already, go and click the link. I'll leave it above in the description. If not, just jump back onto the channel and go and find it there. But anyway, yeah, so back here to do the renovation day today. So I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride, and I'll provide, as usual, a couple of tips and tricks, etc., about renovating and that. But yeah, we're here. I'll just back in. I got to back into this super tight space. So, and it's a main road and it's school drop-off time. So sorry, people, you're gonna have to just be patient with me while I back this in. Oh, there goes my tow ball on the driveway. This is a very tight space, but lucky I've been backing for years, so got plenty of practice. I think my dad started teaching me to back a trailer when I was like 10 years old. Thank you, Dad. It has paid off. Oh, it's tight. That's it, we're in. All right, anyway, let's unpack. Let's get into this job and get it done, move on to the next one. Alright guys, so here we are back at the property. We've got the red roo from Billy Goat here to pull the plugs for us. And here is the existing turf that we put down previously. Looking pretty good. Just gives a little bit of a haircut. But yeah, so from this point onwards, this way, we'll be renovating. So yeah, all this area will be copping a renovation today. So yeah, bearing these sections just due to the massive leopards we've got above us. But anyway, we'll give that a good fert and a good drink and get this lawn kicking over nice and healthy again. Alright guys, so first things first is giving it a mow, giving it a scalp. So when it comes to buffalo, if you haven't caught my previous buffalo lawn renovation I've done, then you can just watch this one and I'll give you some tips for renovating buffalo as well as we move along. So yeah, with buffalo, we'll just be scalping it down, and scalping just means mowing really low. Now, with different varieties, you've just got to be careful on how low you go. So with buffalo, you don't want to go all the way to dirt because they grow from what are called stolons. And that's just grass it basically means grass that spreads on top of the soil. So if you remove everything on top of the soil, then you're basically left with nothing. So you don't want to remove everything on top of the soil. Now, the common question I get is, how do you know how low to go without damaging it? So you basically still want to see some stolons there in the lawn on top of the soil. If you don't see any stolons, then you know, if you do one pass with your mower and see that you really just a lot of dust is flying up from dirt, you know, a lot of the stolons are disappearing, then you're too low. You're going too low. Just come up one level on your mower and start again. So that's always a good way to test. Just do some pass runs with your mower first, or just mow like 2 meters, and then if you see no, too low, or you think, oh no, I'm going too high, and for most people, they're still too high. You can go lower. It's just that afraid to jump, afraid to go lower sort of thing for people who don't have the knowledge or previously sort of thing. So yeah, so just make your way down until you find the right area. And if you don't go low enough, don't stress. It's better than going the opposite and going too low. So the grass will always recover and always come back. And then it's just as this channel is, it's an education, it's a learning thing. It just means you next time you do your renovation, you can go a bit lower. So trial and error method sort of thing. So yeah, but anyway, so we're going to give this a mow. We'll do the edges as well, and scalp this down, and then we can start getting into the core aerating. All right, so time to scalp it. So I'm going to go to the lowest setting on my Honda, which is, the lowest setting, which is about 10 mil. So we'll mow at 10 mil, which I think will be fine for this. 10 mil still really not that low when it comes to scalping, but when it comes to buffalo, 10 mil is okay. So yeah, just measure your own mower, go to its lowest setting and see how it goes. There are some mowers that go not that low, so you might need to borrow a friend's or find one that can go lower than that, or whatever you require for your lawn variety. But anyway, yeah, gonna go to the lowest setting on the Honda and get in scalping. All right, so scalping is done, and I just gave the new turf a little bit of a haircut over there. Now, in some of these sections, like you could go lower, like over here, you can still see there's quite a lot of leaf blade on that, but you really need to check first how much shade, how much shade your lawn is in, because generally if your lawn is in more shade, then I wouldn't go lower with buffalo, because obviously with more shade it's more time to recover, and you've sort of just stunting the grass more than what it wants to be being in the shade. So if you are renovating in a shaded area, I definitely recommend you don't go super low. Just leave a little bit of leaf blade on there and whatnot, just so the lawn can recover quicker. If you're in full sun, yeah, go for it, pump it down to the bottom, but yeah, given that this is in shade, as you can see, then yeah, not down too low, but that's like perfect. So we've gone low enough, like I said, on the lowest setting on the Honda, which is about 10 mil, and that is low enough. It still is showing up my areas of rise and areas of fall, so we can see that. Now you'll notice the ground is very moist still, and that is because I asked the client to put the sprinkler on a couple of days out of the renovation. So for a tip for you people who are doing their renovation for the first time, you need to water a couple of days prior to doing your renovation, just to get that water penetrating and wetting the soil as low as possible. And why we do that is for the core aerator, so the tines can drive down into the ground nice and easily. For you guys watching who have used a core aerator on a dry lawn, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can end up with some sore arms and the machine just bounces around like anything. And if you get a core aerator and you find it doing that, then that's why. Your ground's just too rock hard. So you're better off probably waiting, getting more water into the ground, loosening up that soil a bit more so your tines can drive in. So yeah, that's why it is looking moist. So yeah, anyway, so that's the scalp done. That's the scalp done, and then we shall go on to the core aeration. It's on. core aeration all done. Now it's time to pick the cores up. Alright everyone, so we're up to the fertilisation stage of the lawn renovation. So we've done the scalping, we've done the core aerating, and now we can put some fertiliser down. So for some people they might put fertiliser down after the core aeration, some people put it down after the top dress. That is completely up to you, personal preference. For me, I like to put it down after the core aeration. Why that is because the actual core holes that you created are exposed, allowing fertiliser to fall into those holes and start to break down and feed the plant. So that's why I do it. Each to their own, but that's my reasoning behind me fertilising now as opposed to after the soil. When you put the new top dress layer of soil on top and then put your fertiliser on, your fertiliser is sitting on the top layer of the soil obviously. You need to water it and it might not sink in that low. So that's why I do the fertilising now. So anyway, let's talk about fertilizers. Today we're using what we call a starter fertilizer, and it's called Grow Turf from Lawn Pride. So what you want to find is a starter fertilizer. Definitely don't use a regular maintenance fertilizer. The NPK ratio is different to that of a starter fertilizer. So pardon me, when we say starter fertilizer, we're meaning something that promotes quick growth and a quick feed to the root system to get that to power ahead. And all that does is help in the recovery phase, basically. So if you're putting down new turf, then the roots obviously need a kick in the pants to get growing and bedding in, like I did over on the other half of the lawn. And then if you're doing a renovation, then you need something that kicks everything in the pants to get it growing quickly and fast again. So Grow Turf from Lawn Pride. I mean, there's many other starter fertilizers you can use, from like professional ones from ICL. There are some from Bunnings you can get that work just fine as a starter fertilizer, but just make sure it is a starter fertilizer. So for you guys who are new to fertilizers, we talk about the NPK ratio. It goes way deeper than that, but the NPK is your general, chemicals that you need to know for NPK, for fertilizing. So the nitrogen, N stands for nitrogen, that I just said, and the P is for phosphorus. So your nitrogen, I'll just talk about nitrogen quickly. So your nitrogen's for basically giving it its kick in the pants, giving the plant a quick boost in growth, and it helps with the colour of the foliage of the plant as well, helps to boost the colour. Now the P is for phosphorus, so that's mainly promoting the root growth. That's going into the roots and promoting them to spread out and be nice and healthy. And the K is for potassium. So yeah, that's your general overall thing that you need to know if you're just learning about fertilizers. Now, with your starter fertilizers, you'll see that the nitrogen's going to be pretty high. You're going to have a high nitrogen percentage in the bag. So that'll be pretty high, and your phosphorus will be pretty high too. For the Grow Turf, I think we're 15 for nitrogen and 4 for phosphorus, and K, can't remember off the top of my head, is 11. So these numbers represent a percentage. So they're really a percentage of what's in what these are, a 20 kilo bag. So when you say 15, you see the number 15, that is 15% is nitrogen, and then 4 for your phosphorus, that means 4% is phosphorus that makes up the bag. So yeah, they're meaning a percentage in those numbers when you read the NPK. So yeah, so Grow Turf is what we're using today from Lawn Pride. They are a stockist down south here of Brisbane. If you are located in Brisbane, I get mine from Brisbane Northside at, funny enough, a plumbing centre called Valves Are Us, based in Geebung. So if you are a Brisbane Northsider or you just can't find anywhere local to you, then yeah, head down to there on Robinson Road at Geebung, and they're generally stocked up. Of course, call ahead in case they, to make sure they have the product. But they've got a good range of Lawn Pride stuff there. You can go down and see the guys down there and grab what you need. So yeah, anyway, so let's get this fertilizer on the lawn. I just also will mention too, make sure you've got a decent spreader. Do not throw this out like chicken pellets. You can't just dig your hand in and throw it out. It's not designed to be spread that way. For best effect, you need to have an even coverage, and it's just too hard to create an even coverage by, doing like a chick feed throw. It just doesn't work. So make sure you get yourself a decent spreader as well for your fertilizer. I mean, you're gonna need one if you're into your lawn and you want to maintain it properly. Then yes, a good quality fertilizer, good quality spreader is definitely needed. So make sure you go and get yourself one of them. But anyway, let's get in to the fertilizer. I'll finish my coffee first and then we'll get stuck into it. Alright, I'll quickly just show you the prill on the Grow Turf. There you go, so that's it there. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. Not too big of a prill. It's a bit smaller than the Maintain. Not the Maintain Mini, but the Maintain from Lawn Pride. But yeah, that's it there. And we'll grab the spreader. So I use the Solo 421 spreader. I've done a review on this on the channel, so you can go and check that out. I'll leave the link in the description. You can click that or just head back to the channel and find the video and click on it if you're interested in a good sprayer. I must say, whenever you get a sprayer, just to make sure you clean it out. Mine's due for a clean out, but some people find there's jams and sticks, etc. And sometimes it just needs a good wash out and a clean before use of the next time. So yeah, make sure you do that. But otherwise the spreader's been pretty good. Now and then it jams up, but that's probably because I'm not cleaning it out enough. But lesson learnt, sometimes you get so busy and you forget. But yeah, anyway, go check the review out anyway if you're interested in the Solo spreader. Make sure our thing's closed. And just make sure you do the filling up generally on the concrete, just in case there's a spillage or something happens, like you fueling up your mower, none spills on the lawn and you end up damaging your lawn. All right, let's get this on, get into it. All right, let's go. All right, fertilizer is down. Now I gave the new turf a fertilizer with the same stuff as well. It's still pretty new turf, being down not too long ago, but I gave that a kickstart with Grow Turf at the time. I put that down as well, I think. No, I didn't. No, I didn't put any fertilizer down with that. You don't always have to when you're putting new turf down. But I gave that a little feed now because it hasn't had any fertilizer. So Grow Turf is still fine for that. As I said, it's a starter fertilizer, so it's fine for new turf. And then once that's finished up, we'll go into our regular maintenance with our regular maintenance fertilizer. But anyway, fertilizer's down. Let's get into top dressing. Alright guys, so I'll just quickly talk about what we're using here today to top dress. Just using a sandy loam. Now we're not using sand, as you may have noticed, and you don't always have to use sand. I think there's a bit of a thing about, I don't know, maybe on the lawn forums and stuff about, you know, sand's the thing to use, it's what the pros use, blah, blah, blah. And that definitely isn't the case. You just don't choose sand because it's what the pros use. That's not how you choose what's right for your lawn. There's a number of reasons why people choose sand. And those mainly are, you need good drainage, and 2, you'll be cutting really low. If you're not doing those things, if you don't use a reel mower, and you're cutting down to, you know, 10 mil, 5 mil, 4 mil, 3 mil, anything like that, then sand isn't required. And do remember, sand has like 0 nutrients. So when you're top dressing your lawn, like if you're going to do a proper renovation and you're not just doing it to level, then sand isn't the most appropriate thing because it doesn't have any nutrients in it. So the point of core aerating is to pull plugs of old soil, old dirt out of your lawn and replace it with new, fresh, new, fresh top dress with fresh nutrients, you know, that the grass can feed on. So yeah, so I sometimes feel when people talk to me, they always ask, oh, so what sand do I get? What sand do I get? And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. You don't always use sand just because that's what the pros do, and etc. Yes, if you use a reel mower and you're a hardcore lawnie and you need that nice flat lawn to use your reel mower on, then yes, you need to go sand. But in this case, this mower is mown with just your general disc cut mower. So it doesn't need to be leveled with sand, and it drains really well here, so we don't need to use sand here either. Big note there, but anyway, let's get stuck into top dressing. Now, quick tip, if you are up to the top dressing side of it and you're new to this, you're best to throw it out and then spread it. Don't throw it out everywhere and then spread, because if you don't know how much to put down, then yes, you're better to just throw out a section and spread it out with your spreader, and then you'll know whether you put too much or you haven't put enough. So yeah, if you're learning this side of the renovation period, then yeah, do it that way. All right, top dressing is all done. Now the final stage is just to water in. So yeah, let's get the water on this and get the soil settling in and get the fertiliser kicking in and starting to do its thing. All right, ladies and gents, we are all done here now with the renovation. So as you can see, the last thing is being done now, and that is watering it in. So when it comes to watering in your top dress, you don't want to give it a short water. You need enough water, like 20 minutes to half an hour, depending also, again, how exposed to the sun the area is that you're renovating. This, again, doesn't need a long time because, as you can see, it is in the shade a lot. And even though we are having a 30 to 31 degree day here in Brisbane, because it is shaded, it's not going to be evaporating up as fast. Where obviously if you're in straight sun the whole time, you're going to have to put more time into watering it in. But, you know, if you're unsure, throw it out for 20 minutes, go out and check it out, see if the soil is settling in. and giving it a good drink. If not, throw it on for half an hour. But again, yeah, it all depends on your area that you are doing. But anyway, we're going to wrap the video up here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little mini renovation. I know it's only a little small area, but I thought you guys would enjoy it anyway. And it gave you an opportunity to ask me any questions you might have in regards to renovations on your buffalo lawn, which this is, or your cooch lawn, or whatever variety you have. By all means, put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. But if you're afraid of getting in, just jump in and do it. Cross that bridge and give it a go. And one thing I've always learned since young is learn by doing. So anyway, but make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. For those who have subscribed, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it on the channel, and I hope you're enjoying the videos as much as I enjoy making them for you guys. And like I said, this is an educational channel where I'm learning along with you guys, and whatever knowledge I've learned, I can pass it on to you guys, and you can sort of see what I do every day in action. So yeah, really enjoying it. But yeah, if you haven't seen the other renovation lawn videos I've done, which I did one on cooch as well, jump back on the channel and you can find them and click on them as well. But yeah, heaps of videos as always still to come. Got a lot of reviews coming up on some products, which will be, I'm still working on them, so we'll get there as well. But anyway, I hope you guys are staying well mentally and physically as always, and we'll see you legends in the next video.